I mean, obviously, close, a little too close for comfort, but Eagles pulled out the victory 31-25 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Crazy game. Definitely something I wanted to dive into. Glad that you guys are here with me as always. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. As always, shout out to StubHub and Viagogo, #1 and #2 leading ticket sellers in the world for live event shows and concerts. But ultimately, hopping into this game, last week was a tale of two halves. This week was definitely a tale of two halves. I mean, you got a situation where in the first half, the offense is electric. Jalen's lighting it up. Offense is moving. It's fluid. Everything's going. Everything's doing, Saquon's not getting it going, but the offense is doing exactly what it needs to do. And then all of a sudden, as you're watching the game progress, shit's just going fucking haywire to the point where you're like, okay, in the first half, this was a team that looked like, okay, you're up 24-6. Eagles going to probably put this away pretty early. But as I said in the preview video that I put out early this morning before the game, I said to you guys that I thought this was going to be a knockdown, drag-out game. I thought this was going to wind up going the distance. My final prediction was 24-21. Obviously, it was 31-25. So still, shout out to the Birds for pulling out the victory. I was definitely disappointed with the second half performance. I think the Eagles definitely could have done better. I didn't like how Kevin Patullo was kind of doing the play call. And then I love the fact that you try to get AJ involved. I mean, they tried to get AJ Brown involved throughout the game. It was just great coverage, great effort by the Bucs to make sure that he wasn't getting, the touches that he needed. However, some of those play calls late in the game were pissing me off. Like where you're calling these out routes to AJ Brown instead of deep post routes or maybe deep comebacks, things where he can get some separation where, Jalen's putting the ball in double coverage. It was just kind of fucking wacky. But nonetheless, like I said, they still pulled it out. But the ultimate story for this game was the defense. As badly as the offense played in the second half, it was the defense that ultimately saved the Philadelphia Eagles in this game. Without the defense, I don't know where this team would have been today. Definitely would have probably been in overtime and possibly would have lost. Shout out to Jahad Campbell. Shout out to Zach Bourne. Shout out to Jalencarter. Shout out to Cooper DeJean. Coop he was hitting motherfuckers today. I mean, literally, most of those tackles that he was putting in, you literally see proper tackling, taking away the edge, sealing the edge, making sure the guy doesn't have the proper angle that he needs to pursue upfield on you. Loved it. Textbook tackling. I love the way that Vic Fangio is adjusting the scheme with his defense. It seems like each week there's another wrinkle or another shell. Hey, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. And no problem. Appreciate you. Welcome to the chat. But yeah, it's ultimately so weird how things played out where Huskies gang, what's up? Welcome to the club. Welcome to the chat. It was so crazy how things played out. Like I said, that defense, the adjustments that Vic Fangio, it was really a true chess match between Josh Grizzer and Vic Fangio. I really, 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 truly, truly, truly do not understand and could not really understand why in the hell the offense just went so dead in the second half. But shout out to Vic Fangio and the adjustments they made. I mean, that interception in the end zone by Jahad Campbell, that ultimately saved the game. I thought it would have been Cooper DeJean or Quinyon Mitchell, one of those guys that would have gotten the interception. But ultimately, they did exactly what they needed to do, put the effort in, it was beautiful, beautiful execution. I would like to see the offense play a lot better going into next week. I think that right now, they're definitely in a rut. You could tell that the offense really hasn't found its identity. Saquon's still trying to figure out what to do. I mean, he had a shit game. It's really his first shit game as an Eagle. They definitely got to figure out what to do. I mean, then you've had injuries along the offensive line. Needless to say, you had Lane Johnson leave the game again. That shit sucks. You had to get Matt Pryor in there at some point. Fred Johnson comes in there. I mean, it was just a lot. Like the Eagles had to deal with a lot, just like the Bucs did. But overcoming the injuries, perseverance, staying with it, because this is why playing Tampa Bay is going to be hard in the playoffs, and this is why the Eagles have to have home field advantage. Make no mistake, that team that you saw wasn't even the full Tampa Bay team that you may see later on in the season. So Philly has to really be on their P's and Q's with this team, because clearly playing in Tampa, it's going to be a tough out. Where even in Philly, it might be a tough out, but being in Philadelphia, you might be able to get that game, and might pull it out with a 10-point win or 8-point victory again. I don't know, but it's definitely going to be compelling to see. I mean, that Tampa Bay team, I definitely see them being an opponent of the Eagles somewhere in the postseason down the line. Really shocked, though, about how I'll say this: the defensive front played very well today. I would like more consistent pass rush. I think that the Eagles are going to have to definitely investigate getting some type of edge rusher in there, especially with Nolan Smith out. You didn't have that tenacity on the edge that you had from the middle to end of last season going into this year. So he's not coming back into the middle of the season. You might have to make a move. And I'm not saying you got to necessarily sell the farm or get somebody that's going to cost you a shitload of cap space. But as it, Howie, we all know Howie can work his fucking magic. He's got to figure something out. I also feel like right now we got to figure out how to keep this offensive line intact so that way Saquon can hit those lanes. I mean, defenses are definitely game planning to make sure that he's not just getting through and just running amok like he did last season. However, it's so much harder for him to just get 6, 7 yards. When he's running pissed off, he's getting 10 yards, but that shouldn't be necessarily the case each time. So kind of crazy. Got to figure that out because I think once they can figure out that running game, it's just going to make the passing game a lot easier. Got to figure out too easier ways to get AJ Brown incorporated early into the game. They did try today. I did mention that earlier. It was an early. I want to say it was like in the first quarter, but there was just miscommunication between him and Jalen. They weren't connecting on deep passes. There was a lot of times that he was being missed. It was a lot of situations where Jalen definitely could have got him. I mean, the one play where Jamel Dean went out, I thought Jalen was going to hit him on a deep route, and then all of a sudden it was like, I mean, what the fuck, man? And then the penalties. God damn those penalties. Those penalties were fucking egregious. I mean, when you're talking about 7 penalties for 78 yards, you're giving away yardage. You're giving this team opportunities to stay in this game. Definitely didn't like that. Have to clean that up. But I love the effort from special teams today. Sidney Brown getting that block punt, getting points on the board early. That's something that Philadelphia has missed in these matchups with Tampa Bay. In a lot of these games, they haven't had somebody, scoring on special teams and getting some extra points, creating some type of, points production elsewhere outside of the offense just having to score. So you figure the offense got points today, special teams got points. Like what you saw, happy with the product, but got to tighten things up. Now, granted, we're 4 games in. We're not even hitting on all cylinders, and we're 4-0. So you got to be happy about that. But if we can get AJ and Jalen connecting, we can get that running game going. I think that's just going to make things a lot easier. Liked how I like the play calling too in the red zone that Kevin Patullo had, where they had the trick plays where he ran the fake counter to Saquon, shuffle pass to Dallas Goedert, then they ran it again, and then the fake tush push where they handed off. I mean, it's just one of those things where, man, I tell you, right now, Philadelphia, for them not to be literally hitting on all cylinders, they're literally doing everything they need to win these games. Yes, I can see you in the comments. Yes, hi, hello, how are you? But yeah, it's ultimately like a situation where now don't know how things are going to shape out next week. There's some injuries. I believe we play Denver. I believe the Eagles play Denver next week. But we got to get guys healthy. Definitely got to get guys healthy because Denver's defense is legit. Can't have Jalen getting fucked up. I'm not sure if that's a 1 o'clock game, but of course I'll have a recap video going even to a deeper dive. What's up, Esteban? Welcome to the chat. And do I like Toys R Us, Caden, storing this in malls? Yeah, when I was like 12. My kids are all into video games and shit now. We don't really do Toys R Us anymore. But nonetheless, yeah, I mean, like right now, I think as long as the Eagles can stay healthy, they're going to stay on this run. They're going to do exactly what they need to do to repeat as champions. I don't know right now how you can get that running game jump started though, because that and the AJ connection, that's got to get going. Because if that doesn't get going soon, I do feel like somewhere in the middle of the road, the Eagles are going to run into matchups that's going to cost them and potentially cost them games. So be that as it may, I mean, hell of a victory. You fought a tough team today. You beat them in Tampa in that fucking 103-degree inferno. Um, so definitely got to enjoy that. If I had one wish, what would it be? Esteban, $40 million. $40 million. Direct deposit it right now this second. $40 million. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. Thanks for joining this live stream. I will definitely have an episode, a recap video tomorrow, going in depth about the Eagles. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys for chiming in on the chat. Continue to plug in. Take care and enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And fly, Eagles, fly.